I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, you know, and how he was acting, being that, you know, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, you know, we was all cool at one point in time. And
now remember this. No, I was older than Canelo is when I beat Canelo. So now, y'all, imagine seeing Canelo at 36 and me at 36, and we fight.
24 world champions, 5 divisions conquered, best defender of all time, right? Bud Crawford surpasses him in accolades because he's undisputed in 3 divisions. Both of them are fighters that fought great into their late 30s. However, Floyd has a deeper resume than Bud Crawford.
In a live interview, Terence Crawford confidently addressed Floyd Mayweather and his own legacy. He stated that Floyd's era in boxing is over, making it clear that this is his time now. Crawford emphasized that Mayweather's reign has ended and the focus should be on him as the present face of the sport. With certainty, he positioned himself as the fighter carrying boxing into today's generation.
As for Jake and Tyson, and you know, some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, you know, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is, and the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules, exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting a, forget all that. These things can get figured out, the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, you know, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You know, you lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
So you don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
Floyd Mayweather reminded fans that he also dominated Canelo Alvarez when he was already older, proving his unmatched skill and experience. He argued that Crawford's win over Canelo should not be seen as such a monumental achievement since both of their biggest victories came against the same opponent. For Floyd, this shows his win still stands as the greater accomplishment, and Crawford's triumph does not place him above Mayweather's legacy.
Canelo is a hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. And everyone is now saying that he's not the same fighter. He's not looking the same. Now remember this. No, I was older than Canelo is when I beat Canelo. So now, y'all, imagine seeing Canelo at 36 and me at 36, and we fight. And now what y'all gonna say? Well, now he got what? I don't know how many fights he got.
Some analysts argued that Crawford cannot yet be compared to Mayweather because he lacks Floyd's flawless 50-0 record. They believe that to truly surpass Mayweather, Crawford must go beyond wins like the one over Canelo. Many suggest a move up to face David Benavidez, a dangerous and physically imposing opponent. Beating Benavidez would not only prove Crawford's fearlessness but also show he can conquer one of the toughest challenges in boxing today. Without such a victory, some insist Crawford will never be remembered on Mayweather's level despite his current success.
Look at Floyd's record, right? Floyd's legacy is 50-0, 24 world champions, 5 divisions conquered, best defender of all time, right? Bud Crawford surpasses him in accolades because he's undisputed in 3 divisions. Both of them are fighters that fought great into their late 30s. However, Floyd has a deeper resume than Bud Crawford, but both of their best wins are Canelo Alvarez. Canelo was a younger, greener Canelo when Floyd beat him. Bud beat an older, slower, but more seasoned Canelo. Now, Bud's not going to surpass Floyd because of the record. He's not going to make 50-0. No, Bud has to separate himself. What he has to do is do something that Floyd didn't do. Take on the challenges that people were scared for you to take. Just that's what separates Leonard and Durant from the rest. If Bud Crawford beats David Benavidez, he will surpass Floyd Mayweather as far as on the all-time list. As of right now, if Bud Crawford retires, I would have him somewhere around the top 5, top 7.
Trainer Robert Garcia offered a different perspective, saying Crawford is unlikely to risk his legacy against Benavidez. In his view, Crawford is too smart to put himself in unnecessary danger. Benavidez's size and power make him a serious threat to Crawford's unbeaten streak. Garcia argued the risk outweighs the reward, as Crawford already has an elite resume and does not need to prove himself by stepping outside his natural division. This reflects the debate between chasing risky legacy-defining fights versus protecting an accomplished career.
No way. Crawford just got the biggest win in his career and one of the biggest wins in history. He doesn't need to go out there and risk. But it is too big, too strong. We don't want to see a champion do so much and accomplish so much and then end his career with a bad choice, a bad fight that he shouldn't take. I wouldn't do it.
Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, said that while Crawford clearly outboxed Canelo, it should not be viewed as the ultimate measuring stick. He pointed out that Canelo is no longer the same fighter he once was, lacking the sharpness and power of his prime. Jeff explained that even before this fight, many doubted Crawford's competition level, and even after beating Canelo, some still downplay the achievement. For him, the win was impressive but should be judged in context.
Canelo knocks him out in the first half of the fight that he couldn't handle the power. And obviously that proved not to be, or to be the case, that Crawford could definitely handle the power. Were you surprised that, it didn't look like, maybe once or twice it looked like maybe Crawford felt it, but never in any kind of real trouble?
Yeah, I don't think that Canelo really hit him. I mean, he hit him a couple times clean, but I mean, Crawford, Crawford's a big guy too. Crawford took it like it was nothing. I mean, and he hit Canelo a few times. I mean, and Canelo took it as well. So I mean, basically, at the end of the day, I mean, they both took decent shots from each other, but Crawford just didn't get hit as much as Canelo did.
Do you think that was a case of you can't Canelo's a guy that's not out there throwing huge combinations. That he's more of a punch at a time kind of guy, and that's not going to work against someone as slick and talented as Bud Crawford.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, basically, Canelo was looking for just one big shot, trying to land a big shot on Crawford, but Crawford wasn't having it. And Crawford at times would say, I guess he would say to himself, I need to, do a little more work, basically. And it seemed like he just did that. He would let his hands go.
Legendary fighter Roy Jones Jr. gave a critical take on Floyd's legacy. He argued that aside from Canelo, Floyd often avoided fighting the best when they were in their prime. Jones questioned how Mayweather is labeled the greatest when many of his opponents were smaller, older, or past their best years. While he acknowledged Floyd's undefeated record, Jones suggested that its value is inflated compared to what versatile fighters like Crawford have accomplished.
Is Floyd Mayweather top 5?
No, not in my book. No,
not even top 10?
Maybe top 10 in my book, yeah, not top 5. He maybe top 10, but not top 5. Floyd can fight, don't get it wrong. Floyd can fight. But here's what my problem is. I understand, I know you're a Floyd fan, but here's my problem. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. He know he going to prison when he get through. And then to take it even further,
he fought Cotto.
Cotto was not on his level. Wait. See, stop. Let me finish first. Cotto.
You asked me a question.
Cotto already was done. And is Cotto an all-time great? No. Cotto's an all-time Puerto Rican great. Cotto's not an all-time great in boxing.
I agree with you.
He's an all-time Puerto Rican great. All right, so that's not great. That's not on your level. Pacquiao. You waited till Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez before you fought him. If you'd have fought him 4 years ago, it'd have been something. Because both of y'all were here. We'd have found out who the best was. You waited till Marquez knocked him out, now you fought him. If I wait till somebody beat James Toney before I fight him, do I get credit for being the greatest fighter of all time because I beat James Toney?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. So my point is, you didn't do it the right way. You know that. Who else did you fight? What's that? Them best 2 names you can pull up besides Canelo.
What I'm saying is that who do you think around that time would have even beaten Floyd that he didn't fight?
So my point is, I'm not going to say who
because I can't name a person.
I'm not going to say who would have beat Floyd. Like I said, I'm just saying Floyd never fought nobody that was of his equal. He didn't fight a James Toney. He didn't go looking for a James.
Another analyst highlighted the difference between popularity and pure skill. Floyd's global fan base and pay-per-view dominance remain unmatched. But when measuring raw ability, he suggested Crawford may surpass him. Crawford's southpaw versatility, combined with his rare ability to switch stances seamlessly mid-fight, makes him adaptable to any opponent. This adaptability, many argue, gives Crawford a technical edge over Floyd. The debate remains, should greatness be defined by fame and numbers, or by skill and adaptability?
Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Who wins this fight? I'm going with Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's unpopular or crazy to say. I think most people will agree with me. I understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of fans out there, but the truth is, as great as Floyd Mayweather is, Terence Crawford is one of one. And I say that because who else has knockout power in both hands, is able to switch stances between orthodox and southpaw so seamlessly while having great footwork? It's not like Terence Crawford is some stationary target or a flat-footed fighter that's going to be chasing Floyd around. Terence Crawford knows how to cut the ring off. He has tremendous ring IQ, and not only is he a great boxer, but he's a great fighter. He'll be able to make it dirty. If he is on the inside with Floyd, that power will carry him far, and I just don't see how Floyd will be able to beat a Terence Crawford. I really don't see it. I understand Floyd's defense is incredible, but he is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have a significant reach advantage on Floyd Mayweather. I believe Terence Crawford would also be taller than Floyd Mayweather, as well as all the skillful and technical aspects of what I just laid out prior. So I don't understand how anybody could pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Terence Crawford. Styles make fights, and I believe Terence has the style to beat one Floyd Mayweather. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
Jeff Mayweather reminded fans that when Floyd beat Canelo, he was already past his prime. Despite being older, slower, and less sharp, Floyd completely schooled Canelo with defense, experience, and ring IQ. Jeff pointed out that while Crawford faced a more seasoned Canelo, Floyd did it when he was no longer at his peak, which, to him, makes Floyd's accomplishment even greater.
Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually moving weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, it's, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
Crawford himself addressed the comparisons. He acknowledged Floyd's accomplishments and said his legacy is permanent. However, he explained that every era passes, and a new one begins. By placing himself as the fighter of today, Crawford showed respect for Floyd while firmly claiming his place as the current leader of boxing.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience. He still took him, into deep waters. So
yeah, what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Yeah, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
are you at the top of your career in your prime? You're in your prime. You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
Well, prime is in your 20s.
it's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, and that's why Canelo was saying what he's saying.
I mean, don't you? I mean,
to make himself look like he did something good.
Trainer Greg Hackett praised Crawford's victory, calling it a career-defining win that cemented his legacy above Canelo's. Still, he made clear that this does not put Crawford above Mayweather. He explained that while Crawford deserves recognition for dominating Canelo, Floyd's body of work across decades remains unmatched.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know. I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
Nope. Nope.
No friends in this business for you?
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you wouldn't, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore, so that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know. I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis. Okay, that's a no. That's a no.
Former champion Sean Porter spoke on his podcast about the magnitude of Crawford's win. He said Crawford didn't just meet the challenge, he dismantled Canelo in a way few thought possible. For Porter, the fight proved that Crawford's skill, adaptability, and mental toughness transcend weight classes and styles.
Because you gotta remember, Canelo is the guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, you know, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, who else I'm gonna fight? You beat the shark, you beat the wolf. Damn, like, you know what I mean? Ain't no more ops out there. It's ops out there, but who gonna make them really want to get up? That's the
shit gotta make sense. Like you said, you be the shark, I mean, you be the wolf.
Yeah.
But there's the monster.
Yeah, there is, but that's like a real monster.
Bro, that's to me it don't make sense, but that's
really
what.
a monster.
Yo, is that proof? All right, we got the legendary Pape in the building. Legend. But what makes sense? Like, what makes the most sense? I know you said get a line of suits, Brooks Brothers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Your line suits get your money. Hey, go ahead and get the easy money. You ain't gotta sweat no more.
What's up,
Not saying you ain't gotta work, you ain't gotta sweat.
What's happening?
He's paved a career where he could sit down at a table and get this money. He could come out with a Terence Crawford series now, just whatever, doing whatever he like to do. People gonna watch it. Nobody, the fighting part, people don't understand what it's like to be a fighter. A lot of times fighters really don't be interested in certain fights. It's cause when a guy see himself up here and is fighting a guy down here, it don't interest him. So therefore when he train, he not gonna really train. He gonna train, but he not gonna train. He not gonna listen. He gonna feel like his coach taking it too serious and he's like, man, this ain't even that. But your coach like, listen, you can get fucked up. I'm telling you, you don't wanna listen. Then you go in there and fight that guy, then you get fucked up. I seen it happen.
Broadcast for Jake and Tyson, and you know, some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, you know, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is, and the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules. Exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting a... Forget all that. These things can get figured out. the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, you know, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You know, you lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
So you don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
Terence Bud Crawford defeats Canelo Alvarez and becomes the first ever male 3-division undisputed champion in boxing history. Thank God the judges got this one right. But wow, what a technical battle this was. It was a very close fight, but as it went on, Terence was getting more and more comfortable in there. I remember in the 7th round, he even stood right in front of Canelo and fought him on the inside. Then in rounds 9 through 12, Crawford really started to open up on his flurries, gaining Canelo's respect. But the reason Crawford won this fight was because he was surprisingly durable at 168. He was able to do his thing because for the 36 minutes he was in there with Canelo, he was never really worried about what was coming back at him. I mean, Canelo just kept going to Terence's right side of his body, and that stung a couple times, but those were the really only hard shots Canelo landed. Unfortunately, this is terrible for Canelo's legacy because the smaller men beat him up, and Canelo's kind of been cherry-picking his opponents the last couple years. But well-deserved for Terence Crawford. It's gonna look amazing on his legacy. Boxing got it right tonight. On the biggest stage, with the most eyeballs, no controversy, just pure sport. And one of the best ever at the sport got it done tonight, Terence Bud Crawford.
Crawford's most historic achievement, however, is becoming the first fighter ever to be undisputed champion in 3 different weight divisions. This feat highlights his versatility and longevity, placing him firmly in boxing history. Few fighters have dominated across divisions the way Crawford has, ensuring that regardless of comparisons to Mayweather, his place among the all-time greats is already secure. That's it for today's video. Stay tuned.